So first thing you want to do is make a folder of where you're going to save everything. So this will be my Flipbook demo. Okay, so that's going to be in a safe place that I want. I'm going to go to File, Save As, and remember our file needed to be named our first name and last name -P2. So I'm going to go Matthew Lemond P2. Okay, so now here in my folder, there's saved a After Effects file. So then what you're going to need is, I'm looking, let's see, where did I write that? Okay, 3 compositions. So we need 3 compositions, right, that are 2 seconds each. And we know that our size needs to be 1920 by 1080, 24 frames per second, total of 6 seconds in duration. So we're going to make a new comp over here, a new composition. And I'm going to name that, animation 1. And I can see that it's 1920 by 1080. It's at 24 frames per second. Now let's change this to 2 seconds. And instead of going in here and deleting 00, 00, 00, 00, you can actually just highlight it all and type in 200, and that'll automatically update it to 0 hours, 0 minutes, 2 seconds, 0 frames beyond that. Does that all make sense? Now here's something really critical if y'all have not used After Effects before. This background color is just for After Effects internally. It won't, whenever it goes to export your video, it won't, this background won't export in the way that you think it would be. So what you need to do is, let's say you want your background to be pink. What you would want to do is, instead of changing it in the composition settings, oh, come on, it's gonna, spinning wheel of death here. Do y'all know how to force quit an application if you ever need to? You can right click it here and go to force quit. If it doesn't force quit, you can also hold Option when you click it. You can also go, oh, there you go, all right, we're good. We don't need to force quit it. Okay. So now see this black background? It's not going to export this way. So the first thing that we always need to do is add a background layer. So the easiest way to do that is double click this rectangle tool. And now it fills the whole background. And I said I would change it to pink. So I'll come in here, change it to pink, hit OK. You can even change the color square right here to pink so that like it sort of makes sense, right, between your timeline and your what's happening in your animation. So you can name this background and then lock it if you wanted. So there we go. We've got a background. We need 2 more of these, right? And our instructions also said to label each in the lower right-hand corner. So here's the text tool. You can also hit Command T to bring that up. So I'm going to come in here and let's say I'm going to do anticipation. Okay. Now wherever, do you see this crosshairs right here that I'm moving around? Wherever those are is the origin of whatever you're moving around. So wherever that crosshair is where the action's going to happen. Do you see how the text is rotating around it right there? So what you want to do is hit, the short key is Y, or it's this tool right here. You pan behind, and I want to move that. I'm going to move that right here on the end, and I'm going to, let's see, and I'm going to left justify the text. Ah, shoot, I have to move it again. Okay. Now, I'll have this be in the exact same position on all three of my animations. So this is going to be anticipation. So let's go over here. I'm going to go ahead and name, and then Command D to duplicate, and let's make this one, let's see, let's call it drag. Okay, and then I can come in here and hit that, type in drag, and let's just change the color so I don't get confused. Oops. Let's go with aqua. Nope. Change it up here, sorry. Let's go with an aqua, and then, let's see, how about blue? You don't have to change the layers, but it helps me kind of keep track of, you know, which layers are which. So then duplicate that again, and let's say we wanted this one to be staging. How about that? Okay, so now we're going to need a master comp to put them all together. So let's make another comp, and we'll call this all. And this, remember, needs to be 6 seconds long. So instead of clicking right in there and typing 06, I can just select it all and hit 0600. That'll just automatically make it 6 seconds. Hit OK. So here, you can drag all three of your comps into here, and then right-click. Oh, actually, here, back up. Grab your bottom. Whichever one you grab first is what will go furthest to the left when you sequence them. So I'm going to hold Shift and click here, and then right-click and go to Keyframe Assist, Sequence Layers. And we don't need to overlap, so I'm going to hit OK. And now do you see how it... Now, oh, you know what? I need to change the staging one. Oops. Okay, I'm going to go in here and say staging, change the color just for our clarity. There we go. Okay, so now let's watch all three. Anticipation, 2 seconds. Drag, 2 seconds. Staging, 2 seconds. Is that making sense so far, how I'm setting up this document? Okay, so let me think. Okay. Get all that. Okay, so now let me think of how I want to communicate this. So you're going to have, if you think back to the tutorial video, this one.
Hey guys, what is up? Josh Short here from Edit Video Faster.
So you're going to have, whenever you go to turn this in, you're going to have those sample sequence of images right there. And you're probably going to have other assets that you've added in there. So I'm just, for time's sake, I'm going to add in an asset that's kind of unrelated to our project, but you know, I'm going to take a screenshot here, and let's pretend this screenshot was one of my Flipbook images, and it was the one in, I don't know, let's put it in staging. All right. Okay. I'm just doing this so it'll give us a dependency. So you will obviously have your Flipbook drawings in here. It won't be a screenshot you just took. But now I'm looking at the submission section of the handout. But let's say we're at the end of the project. You've got all your assets in here. You got all your sketches and everything. You've colorized it in Photoshop. You've done all this stuff and you're ready to export. So here we go. When you're ready to submit your work in AE, go to File, Dependencies, and click Collect Files. So I'm here in After Effects. I'm going to go to File, Dependencies, Collect Files. Hit Collect. I'll send it to downloads here. Okay, so now do you see here, it's made a text document, an After Effects file with the correct name, and a footage folder. Now, remember, this is just a screenshot I put in there. This, in your footage area, will be all of your frame-by-frame illustrations that you scanned in and cleaned up in Photoshop. So, but it'll be inside this footage folder, okay? Then, let's see. So do you see now AE will create a new folder with the AEP file, a footage folder, and the new text document. Okay. So whenever you go, so now I'm going to talk about making our video. So do you see this larger bar here? It's called the time ruler. And then there's also this skinnier bar. So wherever, when you turn in your video, you're going to want to do all 6 seconds or more, right? But if for some reason this bigger bar, this work area, was set like that, it would only export up until this point. So you would be another 3 minutes short your video, right? So you don't want to turn in something that's short of expectations. So that's why I'm pointing out this fat bar here to you, is that wherever that's at is where the video is going to export. It'll only export to this length. Okay. So we're here on the all. We're pretending that all of the frame-by-frame sketches are in there and they look awesome, and it's not just one dumb screenshot that I put in here. And we're really proud of our work and we're ready to submit. So you would go to, you would make sure that time ruler is set to the entire duration. Then you would go to File, what did I write? File Export, Add to Media Queue, Media Encoder Queue. Okay. Real quick, so I'm sending this to Media Encoder because you can render videos with Media Encoder away from After Effects. That means that Media Encoder could be exporting a video for you while you're working on something else. But in the event that for some reason you can't export to Media Encoder, or you don't want to take advantage of that opportunity, you can also hit Add to Rendering Queue. So Add to Rendering Queue will just open it up here in After Effects. But like I said, that means that then you can't use After Effects while it's exporting your video. So you go to Export, add to media encoder. Now this will take a minute to open up media encoder. So in the meantime, I'll show you the settings over here. It needs to be like I wrote, H.264, which is a really annoying way to say that it will make an MP4. That's what H.264 means. So either way, you want to select the H.264. Let's see. It's going to be a long tutorial video. Okay, I'm going to go ahead here though, but see it's not letting us render yet, right? Because we haven't selected an output destination. So we'll click here and then we'll go back to that folder, right? And this is where we want that all.mp4 to land. So we'll hit save. Look, now it's ready to render. And media coder is still opening. So let's go ahead and render this. It'll go pretty quickly since it's a really simple animation. Okay. So now we've got a MP4 here. Is that making sense? So when I open this folder, I should see your MP4, I should see your footage, I should see your After Effects file. When I open your After Effects file, there shouldn't be any footage missing. Okay, this is super normal. Remember, we sent it over to Media Encoder I don't know, maybe a minute ago. And Media Encoder finally opened up and it doesn't show anything. That's normal. It'll take a couple minutes to show up. So let's keep talking over here. So we've exported the video here, and we can zip it. We're good to go. I'll give this a second here. So to zip a file, you right-click, go down to compress, and there it made a zip file. Zipping a file is kind of like, have y'all ever shopped at Aldi? And you know, you got to buy your bags at Aldi or buy boxes, right? So like whenever I go shopping, I'm always like carrying like 10 things like this. When you zip it, it's like making it all in a package and it's easy to contain. So there's less chance that files will get corrupted when you're uploading and downloading to the internet. It's like putting it in a little package and sending it out. It's just less likely, it's less likely to have problems if it's just one thing as opposed to like 10 things. That's why I want it to be zipped. Okay, so over here in Media Encoder, remember we're doing the same thing that we did in the rendering queue down here. So you'll either do one or the other. You'll either use Media Encoder or After Effects, but you don't have to do both because they do the same thing. It's just, yeah, so here you see I already have the H.264. Media Encoder has these secondary settings where you can go, YouTube 1080 full HD, and this is already has the output location selected. So all you have to do is hit, well, let me see, yeah, hit play, and that will send it to a folder in here, I think. Yeah, it'll send it right here. Okay, so you have two routes for exporting an MP4. Okay. All right. So then this will just make an MP4 like the other one. So yeah, you would take either way you make the MP4. You want to make sure in that folder, I see the MP4, I see the footage. I see, and your footage folder is going to be way bigger, right? You're going to have 72, at least 72 images in this folder. I only have one, but you'll have 72. So I'll see your video, your 72 images, your AE file that's properly named, and this text document, if you can include it if you want to. Okay, here it's finally going. That's going to go right here. Yep. So you see, it made the same video. It's just, yeah, it's just two ways of doing it. So either way, you would zip that folder, and this is the file that you would upload before the due date. Because in there will be your video, your AE file. Now, what would it look like if you submitted something that was missing a link? Okay? So watch, I don't even have to delete this file. Or let me just move this file. I'll move it here, out of the footage folder. Now let's go back after After Effects. Oh wait, this is the wrong. Hold on. Okay, so now let's pretend this is one of your submissions. I double click the zip file. I look at it here. I'm like, okay, cool. They got an MP4. Cool. They got a footage folder full of 70 illustrations, and awesome. They properly named their After Effects file. So I open it up and like, oh, there's no links missing. We're good. Well, let me show you what it would look like if a link was missing. Let me just move this over here. Now look, boom, you got a problem. Do you see how it will give this colors, this weird like multicolored screen? That's what it will look like if you're missing a link. And we know what I did, right? I just moved it out of the wrong folder, but that would also apply if the name was wrong. So make sure you keep your file folders organized, because you don't want me to open this up and I can't see any of your work. You know what I mean? So make sure that you're organized and that you're... So this didn't recognize it right away. What I'll have to do is right click it and say replace footage file. Now I'm going to go find that here, relink it. Boom. Now I don't have a problem anymore. Okay? So all right.